Take a deep dive.
The Rabbit Hole
Podcast.
But you know what? I'm tired of the government telling me
tired of your stuff.
that all this bullshit is happening. Like, if global warming is still true, why am I out here still wearing a jacket?
Because it's cold.
Because
American.
and if they
Because it's
actually did plant the flag on the moon, how's it standing upright when there ain't no gravity? How's it flapping?
There's a pole.
Physics.
Well, speaking of the moon, hello, ladies and beans. Welcome to the RabbitHole podcast. Welcome to today's fun tidbit episode. We are back here at the Halloween spooky looking. It's the campfire set. It's time for Spooktober round 2 of the RabbitHole podcast. Anyway,
when you said speaking of the moon, were you talking about this?
there you go. I mean, is your moon hollow on the inside?
Not after last night.
Well, today's
she logged on.
well, today's episode does have to do with the hollow moon, and I'm just going to forewarn everyone that is listening into the podcast, that is watching us on YouTube or anything. This is going to be one of those episodes where you're going to lose brain cells. With that out of the way,
Already halfway there.
we're already halfway there. It's the RabbitHole podcast. We've been losing brain cells for 39 episodes now. But either way, ladies and beans, please welcome in Remoridesu, LynxParadox, Nerocool, and FazeTheFox. We are one down today, but it's okay. He seems to be doing something today, so he should be back on the next episode. Should be. Faze probably will not be speaking much today. He has hurt his throat in a freak hot tea accident.
No, I have strep.
Oh, yeah.
And I have strep, candidinitis, which is a yeast infection in my strep, and 4 other bacterial infections, and then I just burned my face with tea.
Okay, the
It's
freak.
been a great day, as you can tell.
I give up at this point.
He's having some hard time. So please, ladies and beans, give some love to the FazeTheFox, as he probably won't be speaking much this episode unless put in his own hypotheses. Is that correct? So, really, in all reality, what this kind of stems from, first of all, before I start diving deep into this conspiracy theory, let's talk about some science real quick. Let's get the smart things out of the way first. Now, before I say anything, what were you guys told when, what were you guys taught on how the moon came to exist?
I was always made of cheese.
I knew that
it was
bit
just
was
there
coming
when
up.
I was alive.
It
It was just there.
It was just there.
It was just there.
This is there.
It
But
just
then
exists, and we just accept it.
Okay, no, for real though. When I was young, my brother scared the living shit out of me. He was telling me that when I was asleep, if I didn't close, that when I was going to bed, if I didn't close my curtain, the moon was gonna peek on me. I was like, what the shit?
so
The moon people with the telescopes.
they were just creeping.
I mean, have you seen the fucking iPhone moon emoji?
Oh,
What? No.
yeah.
That's kind of, you know.
Let's search that up now.
That's fun. Links. All right, Faze.
That's Booker.
There's a lot of hypothesis on how the moon could have been created.
The most accepted.
Wait, do we want a real one or not?
Well, yeah, we're going with the real one right now. We're doing the science first, but the most accepted hypothesis right now on how the moon was created is that when the Earth was in its early stages, it was hit by another, almost like a Mars-sized asteroid. And this collision threw out so much particles and stuff into, like, right outside the of the Earth's gravitational field that it also balled up and then became a part of the Earth's gravitational field, which in turn became the moon.
One reason why, the reason for the gravitational pull was everything has a mass.
Yes.
And if past a certain point, if you have enough mass, you get your own gravitational pull. So apparently, so good. So like, probably something got enough mass that it started, because it was outside of the Earth's pull. It was just started having its own gravitational, and everything just fused together.
But you see, some people don't believe in the science of things. Now let me tell you right here. There's no way in hell that you can sit here and tell me that us on Earth are the only planet in the entire solar system that the moon makes a perfect circle to give us a solar eclipse. You can't tell me that was just made up out of all these particles and science who got. It was put there.
Government.
It's just a coincidence.
It's just a coincidence because
It's just a coincidence.
Just a coincidence because really, in all science behind it, yes, the moon is the perfect distance that when a solar eclipse occurs, it blocks out the entire sun. See, there's other planets that have many moons, and we just have one. And our moon just so happens to be the size of, some moons, though, there's a lot of people that the reason that this conspiracy theory really spreads is because some people believe that it's too perfect. It's too circle. Like that ass is just so thick.
Oh wait,
It's
I love one thing. I love how we have one moon. Like I think which planet? It's Jupiter that has like 5, and the biggest one being Titan, I think.
yeah, and it's nowhere. And none of them are nowhere near the size of our moon.
But no, but not just that. I love that like they all have name, but our moon is just called the moon.
The moon. Well, technically, it's called a satellite, and the moon is just its name.
They just call it the moon. But
Yeah.
but Jupiter has like 5 moons. They're all moons, but they all have names. But ours is
There are
just called
5
the moon.
satellites that have different names. Our satellite's called the moon. The technical term for that rock is a satellite.
It is.
The whole term for that rock is a rock.
It's a rock. Well, without
It's not a
further
rock, it's a
ado,
hollow.
with the science humble jumbo out of the way, nobody really believes in that science bullshit anywhere. Let's get right into the story.
I love how every time you say nobody believes in the fucking science, you just go redneck. Nobody believes in the goddamn science of it.
Because there was a lot of rednecks that came up with this conspiracy theory. But, just like the flat earthers. But, hey, just like that story about that one flat earther who built a rocket ship to prove that the earth was flat, he built it himself. He got about 500 feet up there, and the whole thing exploded.
Wonder.
Oh yeah, I seen that video.
But, you know, right before that second of explosion, I hope that he came to realization that the earth was not fucking flat.
I hope he came
goes-
to the realization
he
that
goes,
he's a
"Well,
dumbass.
shit."
Well,
I'm gonna
He
make sure I
looks-
hit the ground head first.
yeah, he goes up. I hope that this is how it played out. He looked over, he saw the curve, and he was like,
Wait.
fuck. God. Instant. But the hollow moon hypothesis, or spaceship moon hypothesis, because we'll get into that too, proposes that the Earth's moon is either a wholly hollow or otherwise contains a substantial interior space. But no scientific evidence exists to support the idea. Seismic observations and other data collected since spacecraft began to orbit or land on the moon indicate that that it has a thin crust, a very extensive mantle, and small, dense core, although overall it is much less dense than the Earth. The hollow moon concept is similar to the better-known hollow Earth hypothesis. That's also another thing that we'll have to save for another episode, which was a reoccurring plot device in pre-space fight in science fiction. The first discussion of a hollow Earth was by Edmund Halley in 1692. So, but he also had the publication of To the Hollow Moon was not until H.G. Wells in 1901, First Men in the Moon. But, like, see, like, going back to the scientific bits and pieces of it, the reason that that the collision hypothesis works is because the stuff on the moon, in exception of helium-3, which is an abundant up there, is pretty much made out of the same stuff that can be found in the Earth's core. Or not the core, but the mantle, really. Because, the Earth has has that whole thing, but we get to see, the Earth doesn't have old rocks, because the Earth is always moving. The tectonic plates are always moving, which causes magma to rise, create new rocks, and it also falls back into the Earth in a term known as subduction.
Not to be confused with seduction.
Yes.
Not to be confused with abduction.
Not to be
Wait, what?
confused with seduction.
Suction. Okay, let's stop.
Suction.
Suck.
Not to be confused with that suck. But, like...
If you want more information about that, please DM Remori.
But the rocks on the moon and stuff, man, like, they're old. They've been there because the moon's surface doesn't move. It doesn't have tectonic plates.
How old is the moon?
About as old as the planet, probably.
Yeah, it's about as old as the Earth. Roughly. But, like... So people think that the rocks are old up there, but the rocks are new. Then the Earth has to be, like, not younger, but, like... people like to use that as an excuse to debunk the theory that the moon came from us. Not us as people, but from the Earth. And so, the hollow moon hypothesis is a suggestion that the moon is hollow, usually as a product of an alien civilization. It is often called the spaceship moon hypothesis, and other correspondence with beliefs in UFOs and ancient astronauts. The suggestion of a hollow moon first appeared in the science fiction when H.G. Wells wrote about a hollow moon in his 1901 book, The First Men in the Moon. And the concept of a hollow planet was not new. Wells borrowed from earlier fictional works that described a hollow Earth, such as the 1741, as we just done, Neil Kim's Underground Travels by Ludwig Hoyberg. Academic proposals for a hollow Earth predated that Edmund Halley's hypothesis, advanced in 1692, was the first one to specify that an actual void in the Earth. So, magma's not real. Where does it come from? Is it just a byproduct? Nuclear? Is it just shit?
It's a toxic waste.
Toxic waste?
Hi, Mako.
Yeah?
Oh, you didn't hear it?
Oh, yeah, no, I didn't.
Shit.
But, like, so far, this all sounds pretty dumb, right? Sounds pretty ridiculous.
Oh, we're covering it.
But it's why we're covering it. Exactly. It needs to be out there. That way the content that we pursue is nothing but things that damage your brain cells even more than anything else that we have also already done. But Greek mythology, with its Hades and early religious concepts of an underworld, such as the Christian hell, contributed to ideas of the earth being hollow. It is now considered to be a fringe theory. It is often described in the media as a conspiracy theory. No, it's not. No. And the concept of the moon as a spaceship is often mentioned as one of David Icke's beliefs. So
It's not
Aliens,
So
they're
the moon's a
monitoring
Death
us.
Star.
it's the moon, the modern Death Star. Yeah, it's the modern Death Star. The Death Star, but it actually has a cloak and no penetratable openings.
Wait, has a no.
Then I'm not interested in it.
Shut the fuck. The second Michael said penetratable, I was like, Remori's gonna make a joke.
I was actually, I had my eyes focused on you, but I was actually looking over at him too, just waiting. I was hoping that he would say something. But, yeah, the whole spaceship concept is really fun. You want to get into it?
Sure.
The moon being a spaceship?
The
or
moon.
the moon holding a spaceship?
The moon being a spaceship.
Oh, I mean, yeah,
the moon
absolutely.
being base.
Does this ever tie into the number 108 at all?
Yes.
don't
Like,
know.
have you heard the significance of 108?
Well, tell us. What do you
it's
got going on?
It's a big thing. It's like the magic number 108 is it's meant to be some sort of sacred number. 108. It's divisible by the sum of its digits. In astronomy, the number 108 connects the sun, moon, and earth. The diameter of the sun is 108 times that of the earth. The distance between the sun and the earth is approximately 108 times the diameter of the sun. Similar, I can't say that word. Similarly.
Similarities.
Similarly.
Similarity.
Similarly.
Similarly.
Summer lily.
Similarly.
Summer lily.
Similarly.
The
Similarly.
diameter of the moon multiplied by 108 equals the distance between the earth and the moon.
Can we just
a
appreciate that
five-pointed
you got
star.
corrected by Mako of all person?
What? A 5-pointed star, which is common symbol for human beings, has exactly 108 degrees between any two adjacent points, and a pentagon as well, in its center with interior angles of 108 degrees too. Why do you think the Pentagon building exists?
Was the World Trade Center also
108.
108 stories tall?
They are controlling the spaceship.
Oh, they're controlling the shit. Oh.
Yeah, sure. It's the
Shit.
Pentagon. It's not Area 51.
Apparently,
or some fucking
108 degrees
space-related
Fahrenheit is
bullshit.
when the
No, it's
human
Pentagon.
body's vital organs start shutting down.
There you go.
Oh.
Interesting.
Great. There's a lot of things going around with the magic number of 108.
Wait.
Mhm.
The moon.
There are 108 cards and a deck of Uno.
That's
Oh
bullshit.
my god.
What's bullshit? Hold up, I didn't hear you because the Lynx is Uno
I
joke.
said the moon would. I said the moon was still up in the sky during the pandemic. That's bullshit. Can't nobody be piloting it.
There ain't no COVID in space.
Debunked.
In before. I mean, could you
Who
imagine?
knows?
Could you
Maybe
imagine?
that's where it originated from. Maybe they brought COVID down here.
Oh god.
Oh god, it's
You
from
know-
that spaceship. The more theories that we. Oh god, we're
COVID's not
uncovering
from Earth.
more theories. It's from the moon.
In our galaxy, there's 27 constellations, right? Each of them has 4 directions, and 27 times 4.
It's 108. Oh my god. All right, back to dumb shit. In 1970.
I don't think we left dumb shit.
No, we didn't. Michael Vazen and Alexander Skrovenbruch of what was known as the Soviet Academy of Sciences advance in hypotheses that the moon is a spaceship created by unknown beings. The article was entitled, "Is the Moon the Creation of Alien Intelligence?" Was published in
Pyramids.
Sputnik, the Soviet equivalent of Reader's Digest.
Soviet, did you say?
Soviets.
you know
that? Yeah.
Did you know that the first man in space?
Was it Soviet?
And do you know how long that space flight lasted?
108 minutes.
Yep.
God damn it.
Holy shit.
Great. I should have just titled this episode 108.
We can.
108 reasons why this moon is
I'm a-
fake.
We should
I'm a
record
key.
this, record another one. I'll save this for episode 108.
What are we up to? 30.
We're at
40?
39. This is episode 39. It would have to sit.
39 times 3. No, I'm kidding.
It'd have to sit and wait for at least another year. Their hypothesis relies heavily on the suggestion that the large lunar craters, generally assumed to be formed from meteor impact,
We're trying to do the the calculus.
generally too shallow and have flat or even convex bottoms. Their hypothesis that small meteors are making a cup-shaped depression in the rocky surface of the moon, while the larger meteors are drilling through the rocky layer and hitting an armored hull underneath. The authors reference an earlier speculation by the astrologist Losov Skolovsky, I hope I said his name right, who
Astrologist, not astrologist.
Astrologist? Oh, my bad. Who suggested that the Martian moon probes was an artificial satellite and hollow. This has since been shown to not be the case. Spectacle author Jason Calvieto points out that all their evidence is circumstantial, and that the 1960s, the atheistic Soviet Union promoted the ancient astronaut concept in an attempt to undermine the West's faith in religion. So, like, this whole theory.
I'll be honest, I didn't understand anything of what you just read.
Okay, so
It just kind of like went through from one here to the other and just.
well, let me dumb it
So
down for real
basically,
quick.
it's a Russian
Cool, that's what I
conspiracy
need.
to undermine Christianity in the United States.
Yes, it's a Russian theme because the Soviets were mostly atheists.
It worked because I'm pretty sure fucking United States is like mainly atheist now. It worked. They won.
Wait a minute. What episode is this one going to be?
This is 39.
Crap.
God damn it.
Never mind.
Yeah, it's 117.
I was really trying to
Yeah, no.
just to stretch it. If it was
39
episode
times 3 is
36,
117. I know, I did the calcul.
if it
I
was
did the
episode
math.
36, and then Rabbit Hole podcast is 3 words. 3 times 36 is 108.
Rabbit
It's all right.
hole
All you have
pod.
to do is
No, you
throw in
forgot.
some
You forgot
additional
about the
subtraction
the.
in there, and you
The
can
is an
probably get there.
insignificant one.
The Rabbit Hole podcast. So it's 4, and this is episode 39. So it's 4 times 39, not 108.
I will actually be right back for about 108 seconds. No, I don't know. I will be right back. I need to go for just a second. Beep, beep.
Beep, beep. What the fuck? Why are you backing up?
And leathers.
Disappearing into the woods.
And leathers.
So, like, I've been up all
love
day. No,
I
sorry.
love the dumbest fucking like links you can make with everything's like, oh,
Yeah, the
no, it's the COVID. The COVID's in the sky.
the COVID is actually in the sky.
Jesus Christ. I
So,
love just like you can sound even dumber than people making the dumb fucking conspiracy theories if you just turn off your brain and just say shit.
yeah, if you just turn off your brain and be like, I see that moon up there, and
Which moon?
I don't think
It's
it's
not
real.
Wait.
There's no moon.
See, that right there tells you that it's not real. All it is the disguise. It's a projection up in the sky. It's nothing. It's not a mass. There is the sky itself. We live in a computer-generated program, and that is being controlled by some 900-pound alien named Gorf, and who's sitting here playing us like we're the Sims. And that's why they say whenever you see the light, then make sure don't walk into that light, because that light's nothing but a trick. That tricks you into staying here and not being able to move forward.
The light, just the computer screen.
The light's just the computer screen.
The light is a.
And once you walk into the light, you start a new game. That's the
Yeah, they got New Game Plus.
Yeah, when you think about it, if you die and remember, like if you know, like there's like stories of like kids that like remember stories from the past lives.
yeah.
Man, that's fucking New Game Plus.
Yeah.
Or it's almost like those. It's almost like that story of those the twins that was killed in a vehicle accident, and then the parents waited a while, obviously after they mourned, and then they had children again. There was another set of twins, and these twins just so happened to love playing with the same old toys that the twins before loved. But these twins didn't know about these toys until they started asking for them because they had them put away.
Have you ever heard the story of like the two guys that like there were like two babies that got separated. They were like twins that got separated at birth,
Oh yeah,
and like 40 years later they like crashed into each other and killed each other.
and they yeah.
And it turns out it was the two fucking twins. Like the fucking coincidence is fucking unreal. Wait, I want to see something because I think there is a moon in this map.
You want to see the moon? He's flapping
There
his
is
wing.
moon.
He's flapping his one wing.
My one wing, because I'm a retarded bird.
Pretty talented to still be able to do it though.
But another thing that kind of drives the conspiracy, like have you ever hit something that you know is hollow, and it vibrates?
Yeah.
So
It has an empty feeling.
yeah, it has an empty feeling. It vibrates, or like how they like to call it, rang like a bell. Between 1969 and 1977, seismometers installed on the moon by the Apollo missions recorded moonquakes. The moon was described as ringing like a bell during some of those quakes, specifically the shallow ones. This phrase was brought to the popular attention in March of 1970. In an article, Popular Science, when Apollo 12 deliberately crashed the ancient stage of its lunar module onto the moon's surface. NASA reported that the moon rang like a bell for almost an hour, leading to arguments that it had to be hollow like a bell. So they basically wasted millions of tax dollars by literally throwing an entire module unit at
Well, they were
the
gonna throw it
moon.
away anyways.
Yeah, they could have brought it back to scrap it to reuse it. Instead of just literally chucking it at the moon just to
Can you
see if the
imagine?
damn thing would ring.
Can you imagine if like later like colonies actually starts on the moon, then you like at some point somebody just walks and just finds a fucking crashed satellite.
Crashed satellite, yeah, exactly.
Bro.
Sorry for my yawns. Ooh, lordy.
Oh lordy.
I do apologize for my yawns. I have been up way too long today, and I worked a good fucking 56 and a half hours this week. So,
Michael gonna be crashing early tonight.
I'm tired. No, I'm gonna still push to my 6th, and then I'm gonna sleep all damn day tomorrow, and I dare anybody to wake me up.
Bet.
Bet.
And my DM normally be like, hey, go elbow drop.
From the
The
top rope.
I remember when he pissed on your table? Yeah, just go splash him with water while he's asleep.
Fuck up. God damn it. The fact that the moon is less dense than the Earth is advanced as a support for it being hollow. The moon's mean density is 3.3 grams per centimeters, where the Earth's... 3.3... Is it 3.3 grams or 3.3 G? Fuck it. Whatever.
It's 3.3 grams per centimeter cubed.
Grams per centimeter
low value.
cubed, where the Earth is 5.5 grams per centimeter cubed. One explained of this discrepancy is that the moon may have been formed by a giant impact, which ejected some of the early Earth's upper crust into its orbit. The Earth's upper mantle and the crust are less dense than its core. which kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
And that's the one that's actually accepted. That the reason it's less dense is because obviously it was made by the top surfaces of the early stages of Earth.
I mean, also Earth has to be less. The top layers have to be less dense because, like we said earlier, this tectonic plate, so it has to move around.
Exactly. It has to move around. Everything has to keep moving. Everything has to keep flowing. If it doesn't keep moving or if it doesn't keep flowing, then you get a standstill where the moon looks like it does now. Gray, rocky, and non-fuckable. But see how the Earth is
You've
constantly
seen
moving.
the Earth is fuckable.
The Earth is constantly
Oh,
moving.
oh yeah, trust me, Twitter proved that.
The Earth is constantly moving. She's always exercising, ready to go.
Trust
I
me,
see.
just go to Twitter and type like Earth Chan or something.
Ready to breed.
Submissive and breedable.
But Lynx, would you like to take over for a scientific perspective? I think you have a decent voice to be scientific.
All right.
So I think phase pass.
Cornell University's Ask an Astronomer, run by the volunteers in
Very
the
much so.
astronomy department, asked a question. Can we prove that the moon isn't hollow? Their physicist, Sunudi, I don't know how to pronounce that.
Karen and Kentucky.
I'll accept that. I'm not reading it any more times. I'll just accept that. Just in editing, whenever the name comes up, just put that clip. There you go. Suggests that there are at least two ways to determine the distribution of mass within a body. Oop. Discord. One involves one involves a moment of inertia parameters. The other involves seismic observations. I don't know what either of those are because I don't remember my physics class anymore. In the case of the former, Karuna Tilaki? Fuck. Points out that the mode of inertia parameters indicate that the core of the moon is both dense and small, with the rest of the moon consisting of materials with nearly consistent densities. Or density, whatever. As for the latter, he notes that the moon is the only planetary body besides Earth on which extensive seismic observations have been made. These observations have constrained the thickness of the moon's crust, mantle, and core, suggesting it could not be hollow. Mainstream scientific opinion of the internal structure of the moon overwhelmingly supports a solid internal structure with a thin crust, an extensive mantle, and a smaller, denser core. This is based on the seismic observations. Besides Earth, the moon is the only planetary body with a seismic observation network in place. So it's like the only place that gets earthquakes.
The only,
Is that
well,
what that
yeah,
means?
but basically, it has the tools necessary to be able to basically watch this stuff and wait for things to happen, pretty much.
Analysis of lunar seismic data has helped constrain the thickness of the crust to about 45 kilometers and the mantle, as well as the core radius, which is about 330 kilometers. They don't give any measurement for the mantle, though.
No, I think it's the thickness of the crust and the mantle are both 45. Yeah.
I love how Michael just like gave Lynx the one that had the most like names and numbers and shit.
Exactly, because I was not about to read that.
Well, I mean, from the picture they got here, that mantle's pretty fucking thick.
It's pretty fucking
Very
thick.
thick.
But yeah,
It's like
this is the science behind it. You fucking idiots. There's an actual moon there.
Bro, it's just a projector screen. God.
Bruh, God.
Oh, it's like
Am I
Batman,
supposed
but
to
it's a
believe
moon.
these scientists?
Yes. Yes, you are.
I haven't seen the moon.
I haven't been there. I haven't planted my foot on the ground.
That shit's
It's
made of cake.
It's 'cause
Let me
it's
cut
made
it
of
open.
gas. Because it's made of gas. You can't plant your foot on it. You're gonna go right through it.
Motherfucker.
Let's see. The other thing it's based on is the moment of inertia parameters. True liberation of the moon measured via lunar laser ranging consists of normalized polar moments of inertia. Numbers. I don't know what that number is supposed to even reference to. Just as inertia. I'm sure
That
it's
just
fine.
keeps going.
It's being possessed by the number 108.
Wait,
This is very close to the value of for a solid object with a radially consistent density. Cool.
Well,
Which would
here's
be about 0.4.
yeah. Well, here, like, going on. My question: is the moon artificial? There are two ways that planets typically acquire moons: through accretion or capture. The process of capturing a moon is just like it sounds. A moon will drift into the orbit of a planet and become trapped in its gravitational field. In the process of accretion, the moon is formed at the same time as the planet from the accretion disk of the solar system. But this theory has been widely dismissed due to the differences in the core composition and the fact that the moon is almost 1 billion years older than the Earth. In fact, the mineral composition of rocks found on the surface of the moon varies drastically from those found on Earth. The abundance of titanium is one example of such as an anomaly, with certain lunar samples containing up to 10% of this precious metal. The highest abundance of titanium-rich metals on Earth has never exceeded 1%. There are other proceeds metals found on the moon, like mica and brass, as well as the presence of radioactive elements, like uranium-236 or neptunium, none of which are found naturally on Earth. These moon rocks brought back from the Apollo missions presented another surprise. They were magnetized. Scientists were baffled, having previously assumed that the moon never had a magnetic field. The Earth's magnetism is thought to be the product of an internal dynamo, in which the rotating, convecting, and electrically conducting liquid iron in the core generates the field. However, the moon wasn't believed to have a core large enough to generate this type of dynamo mechanism. So, these guys believe that the moon is literally artificial. And apparently,
Those are organic rocks.
and in this they also have proof. Let's hear some of their proof, shall we? Our hollow moon was put in place by two brothers with scaly, fish-like skin. The legend tells of Womaine and Matt Nanku, who brought the moon to the Earth after stealing it from the Great Fire Dragon. They are said to have emptied out the egg-like satellite of its yolk, subsequently placing it into the orbit around the Earth. Prior to this, the planet was said to have been shrouded in sheath of watery mist, which came raining down to Earth once the moon came into orbit. And more or less, someone needs to get me my meth pipe, Because I am fucking seeing colors and hearing rainbows. But some believe that this deluge of water may be a reference to the Great Flood that destroyed the civilizations. The two brothers mentioned also bear similar characteristics to Enki and Enlil of ancient Sumerian lore, who was responsible for instituting the first civilizations of man, are often depicted wearing fish garb. Another strange characteristic recorded on the moon from the Apollo 14's step was the presence of a cloud of water vapor on the moon. After 40 years, NASA reported finding the presence of water in rock samples brought back from these missions, stating that the discovery would change how we think about the moon. A further examination showed that the water had twice the levels of the deuterium isotope compared to the water found here on Earth. Furthermore, they said that there was reason to believe that there are 600 million tons of water trapped in the craters of the moon. At this time, Apollo's 14 discovery of the water vapor, NASA claimed that it was the result of ruptured water tanks that had leaked Earth water into the atmosphere. This cloud of vapor covered 100 square miles and lingered for 14 hours before dissipating, making NASA's explanation improbable. Considering the tanks, they were referring to only contained between Concerning the tanks, they were referring to only contain between 60 to 100 pounds of water. NASA also claimed that the water from the ruptured tanks simultaneously burst, though they were over 100 miles apart. Why would they make such an absurd claim, and why did it take 40 years to analyze and discover water in these rock samples brought back from the Apollo missions? Could the water...
forgot.
Because could the water be coming from an internal source?
It's because of the fish.
Perhaps one that NASA
people on
doesn't
the moon.
want us to know about.
So they can't. It's so the great dragon can't track them.
Yeah, the whole
That's where Atlantis went.
like that whole
We
that
lost
whole,
it to the moon.
like yeah that whole thing about the dragon eggs and bullshit. Like I don't know where the fuck that was going, but I was having the biggest fucking trip of my life while trying to read that and trying to picture it. This big ass dragon just shitting out the moon.
Yo, you were reading this. I was just like that.
You was just
Giving up. Fucking hell.
That's why I put in the meth pipe joke, because then at least then I can actually see the
dragon.
The dragon.
Fucking Shenron made the
Up
moon.
the magic dragon.
Puff the magic dragon, and puff.
Chase
there
the
came the moon. Chase the
Oh
dragon.
no! Actually, Pop came the moon.
Pop. Pop. Pop.
Wait, actually, you know what? I can do this.
But so far, we're almost got all of my stuff that I have written down here done. But so far, out of the idiotic things that I have been reading, what do you guys think of the Hollow Moon conspiracy theory? Do you think it holds any ground, or do you still believe in the science behind it? Or do you believe a giant fucking dragon popped out an egg, and then we cracked the egg and used the ult to create the fucking moon?
No.
That
The
seems
moon
like
is
the most
the moon is
plausible.
the moon is the.
Everyone
the
knows there's
frickin-
giant space
It's
dragons.
the shell. That's what this says.
It's the shell. Okay. You know what? Now I want fucking scrambled eggs and fried bacon.
That sounds great.
I'll go have breakfast.
That does sound absolutely delicious right now. I don't know. I would like for some breakfast for dinner. Yes, please. But we still have a couple more things that I wanted to touch up on here and just dive our heads even deeper into the ground of the probably the most ridiculous stuff that you've ever heard. But the whole thing about the hollow moon, like, again, you have the spaceship theory. You have that there's also another theory that there's a giant pyramid in the inside of it that spans from width to width, and the pyramid goes up, and the top of the pyramid hits the top of the moon. And what this also conspiracy throws into a conspiracy is because this is where the Illuminati base is.
Oh my god.
Of course, the Illuminati had to be in the moon.
At least they're social distancing.
And every time that a satellite or another ship comes back down, that's when they're transferring data or transferring people from the Illuminati down here to keep control. That's where the Illuminati keeps control, is inside of this hollow moon.
And people be wilding. Fucking hell.
Yes, because we need to travel that far just to have people to control us.
There's also this theory of that there's an entire civilization on the inside of the moon of humans that...
Oh, Pog.
That,
are we the Reject Society?
Yes.
Elon Musk has been there. We know it.
That there were ancient... Listen, here's this theory, okay? Atlantis. It didn't sink.
Oh, so you were right.
Oh my god. God damn it.
Why do I feel like that guy right now? Aliens.
Aliens. Could it be possible? Aliens.
Aliens.
I mean, if they came from Earth originally, they're not aliens.
They're not aliens. But there was ancient civilizations such as Atlantis, and the other three civilizations that went into absolute nuclear war. And during this war, Atlantis, while it being the most competent city and most ones with the most technology, they created an outer shell of their entire city and lifted it off into the Earth orbit, while also damming the rest.
I just realized what the fuck you're talking about. It's fucking Stargate Atlantis.
Yeah.
It's not a fucking theory. It's a goddamn show, idiot.
Huh? What's a show? Are you telling me that there is an actual TV show about the conspiracy theory of Atlantis being inside the moon?
Fucking in the show, Atlantis is a fucking city that's underwater, and then they find a fucking power shield, and then it gets out of the water.
Oh, well, that's literally the theory. That the shield is not a shield. It's the outer shell of a spaceship which carried them into the Earth's orbit. And this Earth, and then inside the Earth's orbit, this is why, and from that, they shot down nuclear warfare into the other three cities, and which threw the Earth into its first ice age. And during this ice age is when everything reset. And thus we came. Atlantis is still alive and large, just inside of the moon, because they think that the Earth below has been destroyed.
Jason Momoa also plays in that.
I'm sure we'd still have a lot of radiation left over if that was true.
There is radiation left over just on the moon.
Do you know how long the fucking ice age lasted?
It was long enough. It was long enough to make 4 goddamn movies.
4?
On the way.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was 4.
Yeah, there's 4 of them.
I watched 2 of them.
I watched the first one. I watched bits and pieces of the second one. I couldn't stand to watch any more of it, because just
That's
like
got me as well.
I also just watched the first one.
because just like any other movie that DreamWorks makes, the first one is more adult friendly. It's more funny, and then the rest of them just go towards kids.
Actually, I remember part of the second one was
Just like
fucking-
Shrek, they ruined Shrek.
the fucking sloth
But then
party.
the internet revived Shrek.
Oh yeah, it's all ogre now.
There's also another theory that the Shrek lives on the moon. He's also
Okay, we're good.
he's also
good.
inside the
With the
hollow
Atlantean?
space. He is with the Atlanteans. Yes.
Is Donkey there too?
Yep.
Cool.
His whole swamp is in the capital of Atlantis. It's that's where Shrek is Love, Shrek is Life first took place. And then
Okay, and they sent it to us
this-
like 2,000 years ago, but we just received it like 20 years ago.
yeah, and he descended upon the earth here recently, and these recent stories are actually real life alien encounters. But it's alien encounters that's not with aliens, it's with Shrek.
Okay, so pretty much the Shrek movies is like him telling his biography.
Pretty much. That's, that went into a hole.
I love that nobody said anything except me and you just kept going.
we just kept rolling with it.
I was
like-
just sitting there listening.
I was looking up nuclear fallout. It does not last that long, actually. Apparently,
no.
it's like 3 to 5 weeks, and then place is safe to travel at least. Probably not live in, but at
No,
least
I
travel.
mean,
No, it's a couple.
try
it's at
going to
least a couple
Chernobyl.
years. It's at least a couple years because there was a tsunami in Japan that like make one of the reactor meltdown, and now like the entire coast is just like off limit, and they're just like making efforts. They've been making efforts for like 15 years to just like try to fucking decontaminate everything.
Oh yeah, like radiation is just it's too hefty of a product to really, or a byproduct really, because it's really it's really nothing but a byproduct.
Yeah.
It's that's what is really harmful. But that's all I got on Hollow Moon theories. Unless you want to make one like we just did with Shrek.
No, I'm good. That was a one-time thing. Fucking hell. So what did we learn
Wait,
today?
did we touch on Hollow Earth while I was away at all?
No.
No, Hollow Earth is gonna.
The superhumans who are 12 feet tall and never get ill live there.
Yeah, that's gonna be another episode that I'm gonna let you command.
Me?
Yeah, you're gonna be in charge of that entire
Yeah,
episode.
because you're Captain Down Under. So
That'd be the first episode for a first week of November.
what if we thought
Right.
that Australia is like on the opposite side of the
So
the
it would
earth,
be-
but
No,
it's actually on the inside?
I'll be 23 then.
But ladies and beans, thank you all so much for listening. We hope that you had fun listening into this absolute. What would you call it?
A shit show. Yeah.
An absolute. I mean,
A fact dump. Those were all
dump.
facts.
those were all. Yes, I totally 100% believe that Atlantis is inside the moon.
And Shrek is there too.
Shrek is.
It is controlled by the Illuminati.
Is controlled by the Illuminati, and at the very
if Shrek
top of
started
the
the
Illuminati
Illuminati?
is Shrek.
Yeah.
Donkey's on his right hand side, and I do believe that ass is really getting. Oh, he's getting some ass.
It can't be as good as the dragon, at least.
Wait, no, actually, Donkey is an ass.
No! Oh my! Wait, we can't make another theory.
Is the dragon?
The dragon, the dragon. Donkey fucked the dragon and thus popped out the egg which created the moon. And inside that moon,
Oh god!
I'm glad that came full circle.
Little did you know, we thought you were gonna come here and leave dumber, but you left smarter.
You left smarter. Now, go up to your
Enlightened.
science teacher and ask them if the moon is hollow. With that being said, tell them everything about us. Actually, tell them to go listen to our podcast episode right here on YouTube or anywhere you find your podcast. And then he'll get the full scientific. We are not scientists.
Tell them to watch our last 2 podcasts where we talk about the chupacabra.
Those were.
Yeah, we're not scientists. We're truth bringers.
We're truth bringers. And in this truth bringer, I'm gonna bring you some truths by dropping some hard truths right now. Listen here. Make sure to go follow these guys at Remoridesu, LynxParadox, Nerocool, FazeTheFoxBean, and myself at MrMacoLive. But until we see each other next time, you beans, remember to always hell yourselves.
Peace out, beautiful bastards.
I have a confession.
What's your confession?
I totally did a gal on this episode.
Oh, you went to eat?
I went and got food.
Nice.
Wow.
I had a coffee before, and I had breakfast at the same time, but apparently that wasn't enough, and I was literally fucking shaking. And I was like, I need to go.
Yeah,
And I just stuffed my face with toast.
I get that.
Did you warm it up for